Because I love you and you love that.
What kind of mics are these?
SM7Bs.
That's right. I know how to do your makeup.
He does.
I don't like makeup.
Believe it or not, he doesn't wear any.
I know how to do your hair. I don't even have any.
Yeah, he does do my hair, which I think we should probably do a tutorial on. Okay, so today's a really special episode. I might say that every episode, just because it's new and exciting, and every topic we're just so excited about.
So special. But today really is
Today
extra
is special.
special.
What is today?
Today is our anniversary.
It is
13 years?
13 years. We've been married 13 years. And yes, that was kind of part of the plan of, wanting to launch
It was
a
more
podcast
pressure.
today.
More motivation.
Yeah, motivation, because we really did want to share on topics of marriage. But one thing that we wanted to do was at our 10-year anniversary, we sat down together and we wrote out things that we feel like set us up for a successful marriage. Or maybe not set us up, because that sounds like it's beforehand, but that helped us have a successful marriage.
Yeah.
Because I can say...
tools we've learned.
Yeah, tools we've learned, or tips that we would give people, young people. We got married young, and so not super young. We were 22.
But we were also, so we met in high school, and like sophomore year, towards the end of it though, right?
Yeah, end of sophomore year.
And we were just best friends, and it kind of turned into, not dating, because, couldn't really go on dates, yeah. But boyfriend, girlfriend type thing.
Yeah.
And, I think growing up together like that was really beneficial.
Yeah, which we're going to get to some of that. But we had a beautiful relationship in the beginning. We had an amazing wedding. Like, whoa. But, that's just like the beginning. I think a lot of young people think that's like your finish line is like...
That's what I thought.
The wedding day. But that's like the start of your race. And you have to learn to endure the rest of it. And not just like endure it like it's a hard and sucky thing, but like enjoy it. And I think we can honestly look at each other and say that we love being married. And we're friends and we like each other. And we have fun together. So we're going to jump back. Even though we're celebrating 13 years, we're going to jump back to Jake and Megan's 10 years, 10 tips on how to have a healthy and fun marriage.
Yep.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, you said the first one, so go ahead and read the first one.
Marry your best friend and get the best benefits. We were really cheeky on some of these.
Some of these, yeah. We just literally laid in bed and was writing these together and then talked about them over dinner. We were not ever planning on creating a course out of these, so...
Yeah, I don't know why we wrote these, but I'm glad we have them.
Yeah, I am too. So like we said, we married best friend. We married our best friend, and we don't just say that my spouse is my number one best friend. We were actually best friends before we ever got married, and we tell our kids that all the time.
You're still. I know we're married and kind of stuck with you, but you're legitimately my best friend though too.
Thanks.
I enjoy hanging out.
Yeah, I like being around you.
We don't get bored of each other, really.
Yeah.
We get irritated at each other.
Sure.
But we don't we enjoy, hanging around each other and just doing nothing together.
Yeah, totally. And I think that was cultivated at a really young age. That's something that my parents, whether they directly instilled that, I don't know, but they definitely encouraged, just be friends, just be friends. I think the just be friends at the beginning was let's actually see how this goes. It wasn't be friends because you're going to get married. But I think our culture says friends with benefits. And then if you decide you want to get married later, get married. And we did it the other way.
I think it's more sustainable for sure.
Totally. Yeah. Well,
we'll do the next one.
Number 2. I was going to say, some of these we're going to fly through.
Okay.
Some of these we could do a whole podcast on just one of these topics. So yeah, we'll kind of play it by ear. This is not scripted. We are reading like our list because we couldn't memorize all these. But yeah. So number 2 is there's no shame in counseling.
Yeah, that applies more to more than just marriage.
Totally, that applies to life in general. Yeah. But within our marriage, early on, we, like I think every couple, was hitting some bumps in the beginning years when we're still navigating what it's like to be married. And we sought out people that we trusted that are life coaches and counselors, but they really gave us a place to be able to ask questions, awkward questions, hard questions, talk about arguments we have, like all the things just kind of gave us space.
Yeah. That's really, and you're talking about premarital counseling specifically?
Well, premarital, we did that first, but then even later, doing marriage counseling together, separate and
I think
together.
the premarital was really good because it kind of opened our eyes to what if we don't always get along? And then how do we, settle that? And they just gave us some really practical tips on a lot of stuff like that. And seeking somebody that has a successful marriage and that you would strive to have a relationship like them. Yeah. And talking to them about what it takes to do that.
Right, exactly.
Is good advice.
I think it's kind of funny because I do see some people who they've been married 2-3 years and they know everything about marriage at that point. And so they'll share. And I'm like, those are great tips, but it sometimes can go deeper with the longevity. And you're right. We were intentional with people in our lives that we respected their marriage. We wanted to reflect certain things in their marriage because we loved it. But yeah, and then I think once we did get married, like kind of some of the harder things we had to go through, we didn't have the tools to figure that out on our own.
And as I'm thinking about it, some of these other tips are kind of like the tools we've learned from counseling.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's no shame in counseling. All right, the next one.
Talk about the little things before they're big things.
Yeah. You kind of mentioned this before, or like a little bit, and I was going to say that the honeymoon stage, I know we all like joke about that, but it's real. And even in dating, it's like everything's just, you can do anything wrong. I just love everything about you. And believe it or not, there's things we do not agree on. Big things. Not big, like the fundamental things we agree on. But I think what happens in marriage, because I saw it in ours, is like the little things will get under your skin.
Yeah.
And it could be the way that you put the dishes next to the sink and not in the sink.
I was just going to say that. It's like, those are the type of things that are little and don't matter. Who cares?
They don't matter in the long run.
But you're living with this other person.
Yes.
So your lifestyle and just the flow of your that you want things to go in your home, that's all like up in the air when you're first married. Yeah. Because you're not settled as how do you live together yet.
Absolutely.
So talking about how you do the dishes, how often do the dishes.
And maybe you have lived with your partner, like some people do move in together before. But I think even when the intention is to get married, but it doesn't even get to that point, is because they never addressed the little things that blew up into big things. And usually they can be resolved super quickly, or maybe it takes a lot of work and a lot of intentionality, but they'll be worked out.
Yeah. And I think that even in those little things, if you can build the skill of expressing yourself, of like what you like or don't like, without freaking out and making it such a big deal. Totally. That's really important. Yeah. Because if you have to get to the point where you're going to start yelling at somebody before you bring it up, then you just
let it fester in you, and
now
you're
it's
like,
a big
I am
problem.
pissed, and they don't even know I'm pissed. Yeah.
When the issue is a small thing. And yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to jump down to a little bit farther one, which is our next tip.
Okay.
So it would be tip number 4. And it's in quotes. It says, I'm not yelling. Your tone of voice matters. Yeah. Okay, so this was big for us. And we actually learned this through being in like I was in like a small group with women, and one of these amazing girls was, been married for 10 years at the time. And she was expressing things that she was learning in her marriage. And I was like, oh, I need to like write that down. And it's that you and I come from different backgrounds. Mm-hmm. My family, we are very loud and vocal. Mm-hmm. But you come from a little more quiet. Not as many kids were running around. It wasn't as maybe chaotic or however you want to describe it. And so early on...
Yeah, it's just the approaches of the two households were different.
Yeah, our households were different. And that's what marriage is, right? We're like blending upbringings. And I remember early on, probably even when we were dating, we would get into something and my voice would get louder. And you'd be like, stop yelling. And I'm like, I'm not yelling at you. And to you, that was yelling.
The volume.
The tone of voice. Mm-hmm. And what this woman would say to me is, it doesn't matter what you're saying, it matters how you say it.
Yes.
Not that it doesn't matter what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
some things it's hard to say nicely.
The weight of it, comes from how you say it. Mm-hmm. And I had to really, really work on that.
I'm a sensitive little guy.
You're sensitive.
No, well, it's just that, to me, it became a bigger problem once the tone changed. So I'm like, oh, we're fighting now. Oh, gosh. Not just like
and I'm like, I was
just
something. Talking to you.
Right, and that's your family. Like, your parents will get loud with each other just over how to make breakfast.
Yeah, and they're not even mad.
They're not mad.
No, not at all.
To me, I think they're freaking out on each other and, like, exploding and yelling at each other. And that's just the way that they're used to communicating. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's the most healthy thing, but it works for definitely them triggers me.
Well, they're both loud, so it works.
Yeah, they're
so
comfortable with that.
For you and I had to learn that does not get through to you, and that was causing more issues. And so once I learned, okay, the tone matters. I can bring up 500 things in a day that are bothering me if I present them to you well. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean I'm sugarcoating it. I'm just being nice.
Yeah, saying it in a nice way. So I can hear you. So I'm not turned off by feeling attacked.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of goes back to that, like, responding versus reacting. Mm-hmm. Like it allows you to respond to me versus react to my tone.
Right.
So that was really helpful. And my sister will joke and be like, because my sister's local and loud, which I still am too, but it's just... when it's in conflict, I can't do that.
Yeah, we've changed our habits a lot.
But she'll joke and be like, "You guys never fight," and I'm like, "It's not that we don't fight; we just don't yell."
Yeah,
like we have disagreements and arguments and whatever, but we're just not big yellers.
No, I can't think of a yelling. Well, there's a couple times that we just like have had it with each other, and we're not making sense, and we're just trying to hurt each other's feelings.
That's not often enough.
No, that's very rare.
Yeah,
like. Probably once or twice in our entire relationship.
13 years. Yeah.
But those are more damaging than that 5 minutes too, and those leave impacts and stuff. And if we built habits out of those things, that would drastically hurt our marriage and relationship in the long haul.
Yeah.
Versus just saying whatever the thing you need to say is, but in a nice way so that it can be received.
Totally. So that brings me to another one that's kind of in the same vein. I don't know why we wrote it like this, but I guess it made sense most of the time. It says, you can't guide a tornado, so keep the winds calm.
It's like we're writing an emo song.
That was very emo. You typed that.
I'm sure I did.
So little fun history. So we started dating, we said at 16, and we got married at 22. So we dated for 6 years. Mm-hmm. So I dated Jake through his, like, hardcore, and when I mean hardcore, that's like a genre for those of you who don't know of metal.
Oh, everyone knows.
No,
everyone listens to this.
He would wear girl pants and like.
That's just before they sold skinny jeans.
That was before they sold skinny jeans. Fair enough. And I was like this preppy. We did not match up in that manner, but we had so much fun together, and we found ourselves in very unique situations. Because this little girl would show up to like these hardcore shows where people are like punching each other. Mm-hmm.
Well, it was like a boxing match. They were trying to dance.
No, they were dancing. Yeah. Okay. Anywho.
Yes. So the point, you can't guide a tornado, so keep the winds calm. Mm-hmm. don't yell at each other. As things get more and more out of control, as like your emotions start to take over, rather than like respecting each other or trying to get the change that you want, now you've kind of switched gears to, I just want to hurt your feelings.
Totally.
And that can happen really, really easily.
Yeah.
And it's not about being right or wrong anymore. It's about...
it's just trying to say what you want to say.
I feel attacked. I want to attack you now.
Yeah.
And...
yeah. Okay, so I feel like we covered the what not to do.
Okay. And what to do. Speak nicely.
But this next one, I feel like is actually a really, I don't want to say funny, but it's like one that we actually implement a lot.
Okay.
It's
we're way
let's
off
take turns saying let's take turns saying something nice about each other.
Oh yeah.
So let me explain how this goes. My family is not a very words of affirmation family.
They are. It just wasn't. No. It wasn't a built-in habit.
Sure. Yes, we've gotten better. Anyways, why I say that is because there was very memorable times where we would sit in a restaurant and the tension might have been a little high, and Jake would make everybody at the table go around in a circle and tell something that they liked about every person at the table. Sometimes there were tears because we probably really needed to hear that.
Well, that was just because it was out of built-up emotion.
But you like to pull that out at those times. Mm-hmm. So one thing you're going to learn about Jake, if he can make you uncomfortable, he's going to.
Yeah, I like that.
But you were also trying to like help reconcile things. Anyways. Yeah. Or if like me and my sister are kind of like bickering or like having a tiff, he'll be like, say you love each other. He like forces us to do it. It's so funny. But it's also like those are extreme times. But we do it to each other all the time.
I just have clear memories of doing that as a kid. And we would do that.
Well, it builds each other up. And we make our kids do that. And we'll sit at the dinner table and say, okay, say something you love about Dad. Say something you love about your brother. And that sounds really forced how I'm saying it, but it's not.
I think if you don't learn that, it can be a really hard thing to, muster up the courage to just express something nice to someone.
Yeah, and at the bottom line,
say something genuine.
Yeah, exactly. It's pulling something out that's good in someone, and I think we have a hard time doing that. Mm-hmm. Like in our culture, we have a hard time recognizing, acknowledging, and commenting beyond like, I like your outfit.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you like about that person? And yeah, I remember that time we were driving on like some road trip or whatever, and everybody's tense because it's a road trip. And
what are you talking about?
I made everybody do that, and they did it. They
Not obliged. Our family, right? It was like...
No, it was your family.
Oh, it was our family.
Yeah, Austin, Ryan, everybody.
Everyone obliged.
Your parents. Yeah, they all did it. But by the end of it, and it was really hard, for some people more than others. And at the end of it, there was tears.
Jake's a little like bossy person in it too. He's like, okay, now Austin, you go. You say something about Ryan.
Because you don't want to unless, until
like,
you've done it.
Or unless it's like someone's birthday and you're writing in a card.
Right. That too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that felt like such a cool breakthrough kind of moment.
Yeah. And so I think
we did it again.
Yeah. I think in the beginning stages of our friendship and marriage, that was awkward. Unless it was like our anniversary and we're being super mushy, which we do that on our anniversary too. But we got into the habit of doing it more just on a regular Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Or if I could tell.
Or whenever you feel like you need it.
Or if I could tell you're kind of down on yourself. I'm like, okay, we're going to sit and talk. I'm going to tell you 5 things I love about you. I'm going to fill your cup.
Man, and some people that are like words of affirmation driven, they're going to thrive off that. And some people are like, thanks. Doesn't mean a whole lot. And that's okay. It's still good. You still have to know how to do that.
Yeah, totally.
It's important.
That's not one of these on here, but I think knowing each other's love languages has helped tremendously.
Yeah.
So there's like 5, if you're not familiar, like 5 basic love languages. And how you give love and how you receive love are different also. So that was really helpful.
Totally.
Knowing that. Do you remember what yours are?
No.
I do.
Isn't that nice?
I do. Do you want to know yours?
Mine, yes. What are they?
Yours are words of affirmation and physical touch.
I thought it might have been gifts.
No.
Yeah.
I love giving gifts, and you're kind of like, cool.
Yeah. You give good gifts. I think I like receiving your gifts a lot.
Yeah.
But yes, knowing, okay, if I like gifts, whatever the thing is, and you express love that way, that other person's going to feel it on a much deeper level than if gifts or some thoughtful thing that you can do for them or something like that, but you're telling them all these nice things. That is nice. They're just not receiving it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge words of affirmation person. So, not that I don't like to hear nice things, but if I'm not feeling loved, that doesn't do it for me. You know?
Yeah, that's not going to pull you up as if,
Do you know what mine are?
I do want to know. I know you. I don't know what your
I know how you like title them.
Yeah.
Like I go shopping for them in the Christian bookstore. Acts of service. I like when things are done for me. I just feel loved, like you thought of me when you
without asking.
Yes, without asking. And I do like gifts, but I think I'm actually more. I made up a sixth one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's proximity. I just want to be close to you.
Proximity. Oh yeah, that's.
Because it's not physical touch. I don't need you to like.
Yeah, you're
rub
right.
my hair.
But I think that falls under that. Though.
I know.
Just being close to someone. Let's just coexist and work together.
Yeah,
but
I just sat in
really
his
close.
studio for like 3 hours while he was working, and I was working. We weren't really talking, but
we're just best friending.
Yeah, we're just best friending. All right. The next one. I don't know what number we're on, but number whatever. Have inside jokes and keep secrets.
Okay. So you have to explain that because keeping secrets sounds like a bad thing.
No. Together.
Right. And that's the key. Yeah. Inside jokes, like just ways to connect, which will naturally happen. This isn't something you need to train.
But it's kind of bringing it back to that best friend thing because you can coexist with your partner and like just do life and get busy. But I think the times that we laugh the most is like things that only you and I get usually. Or, that secret thing, it's not like a secret, like we're holding something. It's that we're not letting everyone into our world.
Right. You left a little bit of space for just me and you to engage how me and you can engage.
Yeah.
That's good.
That is good. All right. Let's see. Always remember you're on the same team. That's actually one I have literally repeated to myself. When I feel like you, maybe in the moment I feel like we're not on the same team. And I'm like, we're on the same team, same goal, same dream.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to hold your end of that bargain of like, I'm for you and I will back you or I will support you or whatever. What does that mean to you? Being on the same team?
Yeah, I guess it's considering each other's goals and dreams and rallying for that person to achieve that. So, like, I love music, and I've always wanted to do, musical things like touring and things that are really difficult.
Yeah.
But you've been super supportive because, again, we're on the same team. So if this is a desire, in my heart to do something like that, you've just been nothing but supportive, even though there's challenges that go with that.
Yeah.
And when you're doing, speaking or when you started your business and stuff like I had to rally around you saying like, I hear you and I see what you want and I can applaud that and I want to help you achieve your things.
Right.
And I go to all your farmers markets and do all the things with you.
Right.
Because not that it's my thing.
Right.
But I care about you.
Yeah. We kind of take turns having things. But I think what's hard is people get into the habit of separating. Like, this is my dream and my goal. And outside of the walls of my house and family, that's what I'm doing. But when we can make it a family goal, our kids don't like when you travel a lot. But we've made it really clear to them, like, hey, this is Dad's passion and what he's been created to do. Like, let's bless him as he goes instead of like crying. We still have tears, but you know what I mean? Like trying to let them see it's a big picture versus like you're choosing something over them or me or something, you know. All right, well, I have a couple more, and I saved some of them. There's 2 more. We'll do this one first. Creating the ultimate dream team, because that kind of runs into what we just said.
Yes. No, literally. That's, just another way, I guess, to say that, huh? Mm-hmm. But, man, it's super important that you care about what the other person cares about. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be your thing, but you love that other person, so supporting them to achieve their thing is going to make them happier and an easier partner. And
the amount of things I know about audio equipment and recording is
because you're super interested?
Absolutely not. Couldn't give 2 hoots. Because I love you and you love that.
What kind of mics are these?
SM7Bs.
That's right. You know it.
I was going to ask you a question like, what am I wearing? But it's fine.
Clothes?
What kind of sweater is this?
Cashmere?
Yes, good
nice.
job.
I know how to do your makeup.
He does.
I don't like makeup.
Believe it or not, he doesn't wear any.
I don't know how to do your hair. I don't even have any.
Yeah, he does do my hair, which I think we should probably do a tutorial on. Later.
Well, yeah. Okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah, but that's actually something that people ask me all the time. They're like, how did you find a guy who knows how to do hair? I'm like, you think Jake knew how to do hair? No, he loves me, so he learned how to do hair. And I had to explain it to him without yelling.
Nicely. Because I sucked. And
how
still
to do
kind
hair.
of do. But you're just telling me what to do. Mm-hmm. We do that all the time, though, even with things like cooking and stuff. You're really smart at stuff like that. So when you can think, I want to make this meal, you're not going to use your hands to put things in the oven or whatever. But you can tell me every step of what to do, and we're both accomplishing something. Totally. You're cooking, and I'm just the vessel doing it. Right,
which brings us to our last one. Way to gear us that way. Pull your weight and pick up each other's slack. So we actually haven't talked about the really big fact that in our marriage, one person physically does everything. Mm-hmm. I'm not able to cook our meals, get dressed, take my own shower, clean up the house. And I think a lot of people have assumptions of what our marriage looks like on a day-to-day basis, which we can do another whole podcast on. But I think we had to learn really early on what our strengths were.
Yeah. But I think, God just knew what he was doing when he put us together, because you are super, yes, you can't lift things, but, and I'm not like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, you are. Show us your guns.
No, I'm really not. But, I'm also like, I can lift things. So that's not hard for me. But, dude, calendars, bills, scheduling, remembering literally anything is hard for me. Yeah. And you are gifted at that kind of stuff. So it works really, really, really well. Yeah. Your strength complements my weakness, and my strength complements your weakness.
Yeah, and I think just like in the big time of like, there's times you're on stage and I'm in the crowd, literally, and running to rehearsals and dragging the kids along and doing all those things, and then it literally can flip by the next weekend and you're helping me curl my hair to get ready to go on stage or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think we understand it's not a competition. Like, we're there to support each other. Mm-hmm. And obviously there's things, I physically can't do, but you don't rely on me to do that. Mm-mm. And I think, not that I take the whole mental load, but we've just gotten into a really cool groove of knowing what our strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah. And just being supportive of each other in that way.
Yeah. So that was all 10.
Yes. Nailed it.
Right?
Mostly cohesive.
Yeah.
Feel like there was some sense in there.
It was really all together. So is there anything else as we're entering this is our 13th anniversary. So we're entering another year of marriage.
This is our 14th year that we're going into.
Whole year.
Now I'm confused.
I don't know.
Long time.
Mm-hmm. What else helps us thrive?
Man.
Not just survive in our marriage, but thrive in our marriage.
I don't know. Man, just being patient with each other and open and like all that just general human being a friend stuff goes a long ways. Yeah. It's just more important here because you don't want to, if you lose a regular friend, it sucks, but they don't live with you in your house and have kids with you. And like, it's a lot harder if we just lose this friendship versus a random one.
Right. Obviously. Yeah. We choose each other, we choose to love each other daily, but we also really enjoy each other. There's some other things we'll talk about, but that's going to be like the late night edition.
Okay.
Because it's all important.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Is there anything else you want to share? Me neither. Well, I hope that was helpful. I love you too. Happy anniversary.
Yes. Let's go to dinner.
All right.